All right, here we are with Hugh Brown, and he's going to give us a brief introduction to ionized water or alkaline water. And what would you like to tell us about alkaline water to begin with, to someone who's never heard of it or doesn't know what it is or what it's about?
Well, just let me introduce it this way. I work at a certain large store. I won't even mention the name of it. But I had this man come in the store, and I talk health, things about health all the time, vitamins, minerals, things that work for you, keep you healthy. And this man came in one day, and he was talking. He says, you know, I got my mama on this Japanese machine, and she was getting up in the morning. She couldn't even move. I said, how old was she? He said 77. I said, well, she's getting up in the morning. She couldn't move. And he said, yeah, and she's sore. And he says, I got one of these units from this man. I picked up a Japanese, it was a water ionizer. And he said, I hooked it up to her sink. And he said, I started giving her the water that this machine makes. And he says after a week or so, she started getting up on her own, moving around. And a few more weeks, she was going all over the house, up and down the stairs, and she was feeling pretty good. And I listened at him saying this. I said, do you have a machine? He says, no, I gave it to my mama, but I get some of this water from the machine. The machine, he said, is a medical unit. And so I called the man, Patrick, who got him the machine, got the machine to his mother down in Miami, and I said, hey, Patrick, can I get hold of some of this water? I'd like to try it too. It sounds like a pretty good thing. And he said, yeah. I said, well, does it do everything that you that he told me it did? He said, yeah. He says, I'm the one who sold her the machine, and he says, also her friends have gotten a lot of machines too from me, and it's helped them with all kind of problems. Well, I went out to Pat's, and I got some of that water, and I started drinking it. And then I started going to meetings and hearing all the testimonies. Well, you know, in the United States, we have a EPA system. Well, over in Japan, they have like a EPA system too. And I asked Pat, I said, well, is this under our EPA or Environment Protective Agency? He says, well, no, not in the United States, but they have like a Japanese EPA. He says there's 6,400 doctors that voted this machine in as a medical unit. And I said, yeah. I said, that's pretty good. He says, well, see, over in Japan, they use it in their hospitals and they use it in restaurants. And 1 out of 5 homes has this type of machine, a medical unit in it. And he said that, see, if they operate on Japan, if you're treated by a doctor and you're not healed from a disease, then the doctors, you don't have to pay them. So I'm not going to say that machine works, but I'm going to say that there's tons of testimonies. I can't come out and tell a person, hey, this machine will really heal you, because the EPA doesn't allow that. But I will say that there's a testimony probably for everything you can think of. And so I started drinking the water. I got in the business, and I had a little bit of a prostate problem. I was taking the Flomax, getting up and going to the bathroom at night. And I would tell my doctor, I said, man, I hate this Flomax. Can't you guys come up with something else? Because I don't like the side effects of it. He says, no, this is the best thing. It's from Europe. It's modern, and you'll probably be on it the rest of your life. And I said, well, thanks a lot. And so I started studying about the machine. And it's the water is restructured. The water is changed, restructured into small molecules. Like there's 8 molecules that are formed in a octagonal shape, and they go into every cell in the body in 10 minutes. But see, our regular water, they come in clusters of molecules of water, anywhere from 15 up to about 90 molecules. And some of these molecules are so big that they cannot pass into the cells. And the cells get hydrated without water because the water cannot go through the cell. They pass by it and they go out, and you flush it down the commode. and you can drink all this water, and your cells may not be getting water because the molecules are so big. So these small molecules go into the cell, and the medical unit charges the water with such a strong negative charge after it gets the water super clean, purifies it, and it starts flushing out the system, and it flushes out all the toxins, all the waste in the system, and it changes your body because the water has changed by the use of electrode plates into a negatively charged water, and that water is alkaline water, which is filled with oxygen ions that the body needs. And so the body is changed from a acidic state, which we're all acidic, into a state of alkaline. And when the body is changed in the alkaline state, from studies, they say that there is no disease, there's no virus, there is no bacteria that can live in this alkaline state. So when you get your body back to alkalinity, the body heals itself. And tons of testimonies I've read. Legally, a person can give a testimony. I talked about how my prostrate, taking the Flomax, I got off of that. I haven't had to take that. I'm sleeping longer hours now. The more I stay on it, the longer I sleep. I had a friend, and I'll give this testimony because I've got it written down that I can verify it. He told me he got off his medication. He had prostate cancer, and he said that he put his medicine down. I said, "Are you sure you're ready for that?" He said, "Yeah, I'm ready for it." I said, "How do you know?" He says, "Because I feel good. The water has cooled my stomach down. I feel good." And he says, when I go back to the doctor the next time, I think will probably release me and say that I no longer have cancer. But anyway, I want to bring that up because this machine is, people say, well, it's just another water filter, but it's not. It ionizes the water. It changes your body back to alkalinity. The body will heal itself. It puts so many negative ions in this water, along with the oxygen, that free radicals which make you sick and age you can't touch it. It's said to reverse the aging process. And I'm not telling you anything that you can't read in books. But the American people aren't aware of this. And the water is strong for about 3 days, because after 3 days it loses its charge. So you want to drink the water straight out of the tap, or you want to drink it within a 3-day period. And all kind of testimonies come from people about this water. I could talk about it for hours, but I'm just going to cut it short right there and see if you have any questions you want to ask me, Jess.
Yes, so are you telling us that there are currently no other products like this available that offer this kind of restructuring of water that you're speaking of?
Yes, there are. There are several. This machine is an ionization machine that changes the water into alkaline water. And there are many machines made, but the machine I went with was the Cadillac of all the ionizing machines. It's made in Osaka, Japan, and they put it together by hand. And the medical team of doctors like AEP accepted it as a medical instrument over all the other instruments because they found out that they got results from it. Regardless of price, there's some that are less expensive. There's some that's higher, but they chose this because it was the best unit that they saw to do the job. And it does do the job, and I'm not going to come out and tell you it's going to heal everybody, but I'm going to say for whatever illness a person has. I've read so many testimonies, I don't know of anything, any type of anything that hasn't been covered by these testimonies. Any other questions?
Yes. Briefly, what is your personal experience with using the water?
Well, as I stated, the water that I've used, I was able to get off my Flomax, my prostrate medicine, because I was having to get up and go to the bathroom too much. And I learned from listening to other testimonies about my prostrate problem and other problems that it worked for people. And it had a strong effect, like beginning with this man's mother who was 77 years old. And numerous people as I go to the meetings and I find out what all it does, and I take notes, and I find more and more out about this machine. And I'll be honest, not because I sell the machine, because I know that every American needs this. We've tested every water that's out there, and believe me, every water we've tested, city water, bottled water, you name it. And you can do this. You can get an ORP instrument. You can take the reading of the water, and you'll know if it's acidic or not. And if it's acidic, we need to get away from the acidic. We need to get our bodies back alkaline. We get our bodies back alkaline, then our health will return. Our bodies will heal itself.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that information and for sharing that with us. And we'll talk to you later.